kitchen area where the kennels are and get ready to walk the dogs. Behind the door is the leashes. There's a variety of different sizes and lengths. I usually try to find one that's about a medium width. I prefer the ones that have the thumb catch. The leashes we start with for volunteers are the 6-foot length ones. Sometimes some of the dogs, when you've been here a while, will find that they're able to walk better on a flexi leash. Staff will let you know if it's okay to take them out. We do need to have a leash that's got a loop on it so that way you've got something to keep it from being pulled through your hands when they get excited seeing squirrels, etc. Some leashes, if they've been chewed on, they look like they're afraid or possibly going to break, throw them away. We'll go ahead and we've got plenty of leashes. Better to get rid of those before they break, and we have a dog running loose. So find a leash that's comfortable for you. I also want to point out before we head to the kennels a few other things that you can find in the kitchen here. If you decide that you want to brush a dog that day, maybe it's raining or something and they don't want to be out in the rain, take them out to have a potty break. Come in here, find some brushes. They love it. You can take them to the playroom to do the brushing. We'll see the playroom in a bit. When you're done with it, just bring the brushes back, put them at the sink here. The staff will go ahead and get those cleaned up for the next stop. Occasionally we might have a specialty type of collar or harness that's stored in the drawers here. Staff can help you find those too. In this case, this collar is a no-slip collar. It works a little bit like a training collar for some dogs. If they're ones that may be possible to back out of a collar if they decide they don't want to do what they need to do, or maybe a little bit strong, the staff will decide if we need to put those on them, and you just put it on like the leash to it like a regular collar. Pardon me. If you've had toys out with the dogs or something, you're finished with them, just leave them here at the counter. The staff will wash them and get them clean and ready for the next dog. The dog, you put him away. It is good to wash your hands. We request that, so that way it cuts down that risk of picking up or spreading any germs from the dog, or certainly after picking up any droppings from the dog. Over here is the staff notebooks that we make notes about the dogs. Volunteers are encouraged to do that too. There may be something that you did with that dog that day that was very special, that you found out they walked very good on the leash. The staff like having that information. It makes it much easier for them to share that information with potential adopters. They have interaction with the dog, but it's not the same as that one-to-one time we get with the dogs when we're walking them. And that's really helpful to give that information to the folks. Also, if you notice the dog was limping on the walk, coughing maybe that they hadn't been doing, maybe they growled at somebody walking towards them, let the staff know. If a dog happens to snap or bite at you, please let staff know right away. They won't be punished. The dog's not going to be punished for it, but that may be the first indication that there's an illness developing, or maybe the dog has an injury or a sore, and you are the first person to notice. We'll search out and find out what the cause is so that can be addressed appropriately for the dog. So please let the staff know. If the dog has diarrhea, let the staff know, or vomits. That way we can catch if there's an illness developing. This is the activity logs for the dogs. It's a daily log sheet. On the first lines they'll have the dogs' names, and they'll be color-coded, green or purple. The green dogs are ones that any volunteer can walk. They're social, they might be a little excited on walks, but they generally get along with everybody, and any volunteer can walk them. The purple dogs are the ones that have a little bit more difficulty for walking. Maybe they're strong pullers, maybe they're a very large dog, or they're not dog social. They're color-coded with the purple. And on each kennel will be also their name and a color-coded tag. The boxes indicate the activities that they've had for the day. They will go out and have activity out of the kennels at least 4 times. If they go play in the yard, the staff will mark it with a Y. If they've gone for a walk, we'll write down a W. If they've urinated on the walk, we'll put in a U. If they've had a stool, we'll put an S with that. When you're walking the dogs or coming to see a dog and you're wondering, who should I take out? If you've seen one that maybe hasn't been out much that day and it's one you're familiar with, you're comfortable with, maybe consider getting that one out, as long as it is a green dog. The staff work very, very hard to see which dogs are social, which ones get together and play well together, and they're marked on the buddy board. If you decide you want to take a dog to the playroom and someone else is in there with a dog, first check to see if they mind you coming in with the dog. Also double check the board to make sure that they're compatible. If you're not sure, don't take them together. If you like to walk dogs together and you're not sure if they're buddies, take a look at the buddy board and look. If you don't see them on there, if you're not sure, best to choose different dogs or walk a different direction. An ounce of prevention is worth it. If at any time you have a question, if a dog, is a buddy with somebody and you're not sure, just check with staff. They'll help clarify questions. We also store treats and such down here. A lot of times when we're taking them out, especially when they're new here, to get them used to the situation, get used to being around people, help encourage training, we may take some treats out. I would take just small little ones. If you've got only bigger ones, like bigger milk bones, break them in pieces. We don't want to get them overfilled up on treats. But sometimes the dogs just want the praise. They may not be food oriented, but just a very simple, good dog, petting them, giving some calm petting is reward enough for them, and they thrive on that positive reinforcement, and that's what Paws and Claws works with, the positive reinforcement, not the negative reinforcement for training. Over here to the side of the buddy board is the wash-up area. The mop, if you need it for anything, it's here. If you've got soiled linens or something, you can throw it in here. If a toy they've been playing with, throw it in here, the soft toys. They'll get laundered. If you need additional toys or another blanket, maybe they spilled their water bowl and dumped it all over their blankets, they have them. This room is the quarantine area, and this is for staff only. The dogs are in here until they've gone through their health checks to make sure that they are healthy and safe to bring into the adoption center. There is only a couple of rules in place at Paws and Claws that could get a volunteer asked to not return, and one of them is intentionally violating the dog color orders by walking dogs that are not in your color training level, of having 2 occurrences of that, or intentional abusive behavior to staff members, other volunteers, or the animals. If that occurs, you return to Paws and Claws. We'll go into the kennel area here. It's going to be loud. So I'll demonstrate getting a dog out of the kennel by either going into the kennel and getting the dog out, and then also leashing the dog from the outside. The goal is to be the person in charge, walking the dog out calmly and quietly. We only want to have 1 dog in the hallway in the kennel at a time. It's rather narrow, and some dogs, they get extremely excited. We don't want to risk having 2 dogs that maybe aren't the best buddies getting too close to each other and potentially causing a fight. But first we'll go for a walk, and I'll show you where the different kennels are. It goes around the backside. I'll also point out the information on the tags, the green tag, the purple tag, so it helps point out what is necessary in dog kennels. On the is no looser than 2 fingers. If it's looser than that, we want to get a smaller collar on the dog or tighten the collar. We don't want to risk the dog backing out of it. Once that you're sure the collar is secure, the leash is secure, calmly walk out of the kitchen with you in the lead to the outside parking lot. Sometimes the dogs are pretty excited, but trying to get them to use patience, to wait, to come out quietly, it will help them become more adoptable.